Hello and welcome back to English Coffee and Rock and Roll, your English as a second language YouTube channel. My name is Roger. I'm an English as a second language teacher here in Toronto, Canada. And in today's video, we will talk about simple present, more specifically, how to conjugate verbs in the third person singular. In other words, he, she, it. So if you want to take one step further in your English learning process, if you want to become a master of the simple present, make sure you will like this video, subscribe to the channel, and sit back and relax, because without any further ado, let's get started.
Let's go.
Wow! Well, let's begin with the most important question, which is, what is simple present and when do we use it? Well, simple present is used to talk about actions or things that happen in the present, more specifically, every day or regularly. So, for example, I eat breakfast every day. I go to work every day. I study English every day. As you can see, these three sentences are in the present and they are about things that I do, things that happen every day, regularly, and we call it simple present because the structure is simple. All you need is the subject, in this case, I, and the verb, eat. I eat. You eat. We eat. They eat. As you can see, the verb doesn't change. It remains the same. The only moment when it changes is when we use he, she, it. For example, this is my friend Mina. Mina is from Japan. Mina eats breakfast every day. She eats breakfast. She lives in Japan. She speaks Japanese. In this case, for he, she, it, we add an S after most verbs. Let me give you another example. This is my friend Roberto from Mexico, or Roberto from Mexico. Roberto lives in Mexico City. Roberto drives very well. Roberto cooks very well. As you can see, for all of these verbs, we just add an S. Now let me go back to the second example. I go to work every day. She goes to work every day. Note that after go, we add ES, and that's because go ends in O. So for verbs ending in O, SS, SH, CH, and X, we add ES. Grab a pen or pencil and a piece of paper, take notes or take a screenshot and share it with your friends. Let me give you another example. I go. She goes. She washes. She watches. She fixes. She passes. Now let's take a look at this sentence. I study English. I study. You study. We study. They study. He studies. Note that for study, we add IES, and that's because study ends in Y, and before the Y, there is a D, and D is a consonant. In English, there are two types of letters, vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and consonants, which are B, C, D, F, G, etc. D is a consonant, so we replace the Y with an I, then add ES. Another example is, she cries. He cries. Now let's compare play and study. Both verbs end in Y, but in play, before the Y there is an A. An A is a vowel. In that case, we just add an S. She plays. He plays. She stays. He stays. He studies. Now let's practice. You will see some sentences on your screen and I'll give you a few seconds to complete them with the correct verb form. You can also pause the video if you want. So let's go. Sentence number 1. Right, he goes to work by bus. Sentence number 2. He drives really well. Sentence number 3. She cooks well. Sentence number 4. It rains a lot here. Sentence number 5. Michael studies English every day. Now, let's talk about the negative form of simple present. To make the negative form of the simple present, all you need to do is add do not. For example, I go to work. I do not go to work. I go. I do not go. Or you can use the contracted form of do not, which is don't. I don't go. You don't go. We don't go. They don't go. And what about he, she, it? Right, we say she does not go. He does not go. It does not go. Or the contracted form doesn't. But why does? Because do ends in O, so we add es. This is Mina. She speaks Japanese. She doesn't speak Italian. This is Roberto. He cooks Mexican food. He doesn't cook Italian food. Note that we don't say he doesn't cooks because we don't conjugate the main verb. We conjugate the helping verb, the auxiliary verb, which is do. So he cooks. He doesn't cook. She speaks. She doesn't speak. Now let's talk about the interrogative form of simple present. If I want to ask you a question about your routine, I start the sentence with do. For example, do you go to work by bus? Do you speak English? But for he, she, it, we say, does she speak English? Does he speak English? Does it rain a lot here? Let's talk about my friend Mina. If you want to ask me a question about Mina, for example, if you want to know where she lives, you say, where does she live? Where does he live? Does he speak English? Note that for he, she, it, we use does, not do. So tell me, is it clearer now? Do you understand simple present a little more now than you did before? Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you need extra material, extra practice, click the link that is in the comment section below. There is a PDF that I've created for you to download for free for you to have some extra practice. There is an explanation, exercises, and there is also the answer key for you to check your answers. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and welcome to English Coffee and Rock and Roll.